Hello everybody, this is Adam from Waxpack Gods. I hope you're doing well. Today I was going through one of my closets again, as I've been doing here recently, kind of pulling out some of my old baseball stuff, and I came across this Rack Pack box from Topps in the 1980s. Now this box is full of some cards that we'll look at here in a while that are not the cards that came in the box, but I thought it might be interesting to look at this box for a minute. And so the rack packs would come in 2 stacks here, and these would have like the glossy all-star cards in them. Very 80s looking box with, you know, the bright colors, video game looking thing. This does not have a price written into the price circle there. See, same here. And if we turn it over, we'll get to see what year this was issued. We got her upside down. I'll keep the cards inside. And you can see there, this was 1985 Topps. And I distinctly remember purchasing rack boxes in 1985. And I would open them up, pull out doubles, and sell the doubles or trade the doubles. I was doing some card shows at that time as a kid. I had a partner doing some shows with me, so we had a lot of fun with this set. For today, I thought we would look at a few of the cards that are inside. So I've just used this box and a couple other boxes as storage over the years. So last time I really did much with my cards was probably the late 90s or very early 2000s, and when I was done I just kind of piled them all together and stored them away, and we've moved several times since then. So I thought it might be fun to take a look at some of the cards in here and see what kind of time capsule we've got. So we'll start off with some 87 Fleer cards with the interesting border fades. So these cards were considered pretty scarce when they were issued, and for a good while after that. So both Donruss and Fleer that year were hard to come by. For some reason, my town had kind of a bevy of Donruss cards, and so I was able to get quite a few of those, but Fleer eluded me for many years. So these feel kind of fancy and special to me as I'm going through them. And the backs were kind of bright and had some interesting things. A pro scout report for his stuff, for his different pitches, and so he had 4 pitches that were rated sharp: the fastball, curveball, changeup, and sinker. And so there's another Zane Smith 87 Fleer card. These are, what, 1990, I think? Yeah, 1990 Bowman cards. So these are the second iteration of the new Bowman cards after Topps brought them back. The first ones were in 89, and they were oversized, not very popular, and this was still before Topps had kind of turned Bowman into the big rookie vehicle. This is catcher Scott Bradley of the Seattle Mariners. And these were interesting backs, I thought, because they split out a player's performance by team and then give us 89 totals, or prior season totals, and career totals. There's Claudell Washington. I always enjoyed watching him play. He was 6'2", but he looked so long and lanky. I thought for sure he was 6'8", 6'9". Kind of an elegant looking player when he was on the field. Here's Julio Franco, who played till he was like an old man. I think older than I am now. He had some power and a lot of speed. Did some good stuff. Rick Honeycutt. Oh, come on. Kind of out of focus there. But Honeycutt was kind of a GQ player here, at least in this 89 Bowman card of his. Sorry, trying to get the focus back. And we can see, there we go, some of his stats. Steve Buechele. not to be confused with Steve Buscemi. Had some good years as a third baseman for the Texas Rangers. So these, again, are 89 Bowman cards. Jim Eisenreich, who had a couple of stints in the major leagues and I think had some problems with vertigo, if I remember right, and was out for a year or two. Kind of one of those triumphant stories, how he came back and just kept persevering. It's a good dude. Jerry Goff for the Montreal Expos. I don't really remember much about him, but his Expos togs look great there. The solid red jersey and the Expos logos. It says, oh, he made his professional debut at Bellingham in '86 and played at Williamsport and Calgary in '89. So he was a catcher, and so you kind of get the flavor of Topps going Ricky with Bowman here, since he didn't have any major league experience. There's Dickie Knowles, veteran, been around for a good while. Otis Nixon, definitely a speedster. Let's see, he had some big stolen base numbers if I remember right. So he had 94 for Columbus in the minors in 1983. And then was hitting, 30, 20 per season. I think he ended up with a couple of bigger seasons maybe after this. So 3 of those 87 Fleer Otis Nixon cards. Mel Rojas, another of the red Expos jerseys. He was another sub-rookie, if you will. Manny Trio. How great is that? He's been around. He was around for a long time. I remember him first with the 83... in the 83 top set with the Phillies, I think. And then that fall, he would have showed up in the traded sets with the Indians. So Manny Trio. There's Ozzie Virgil. A solid catcher for the Phillies in the 80s. This is the 86 Topps card of Ozzie Virgil. Big smiling headshot with the black and white borders, black letter Phillies, his position, and his name. These are very basic cards. I was not blown away with them, but they look good, and they're definitely vintage now. Randy St. Clair, 86 Topps, pitcher with the Expos. Debuted in 9/11 of '84. Bob Rogers in the 21st century with the Montreal Expos. Okay, the 20th century. He was their manager on his 86 Topps card. And the back of the manager cards that year had the team checklist. Razor Shines, one of the great baseball names of the 80s and all times, really. I saw him play live a couple of times with the Indianapolis Indians, who were, for a while, the farm team, the AAA farm team for the Montreal Expos. He didn't do all that well in the majors, but you can see he had some really solid numbers in the minors. Double-digit home runs, would hit in the high 200s. He's a good player, exciting player, nice guy. Let's see who we got here. Oh, Joe Orsulak, 86 Donruss. So this was kind of in the heart of Donruss being Donruss. These cards have the very much the Donruss feel and look of kind of that dark borders. They had a smell to them. I think it was the printing ink, but you knew when you held the Donruss card for sure. Really like this set. The Pirates Yellow pops really well on this card. And Orsulak was a prospect at the time, although he was already, a little older, 23, 24. He did okay. Tim Flannery. Always liked him with the Padres. He was there with them when they won that '84 National League pennant. And he is a musician. So you should look him up on the internet and see the kind of music that he does. Kind of interesting guy. And I think we'll end up here with this 1983 Donruss Tom Hume card. So 83 Donruss, I'll get a post somewhere about a Cesar Cedeno card from this set was one of my early favorites, just very sunny. I love it. And it's one of my favorite cards. And Tom Hume, who was also a member of my Cincinnati Reds, was my favorite relief pitcher of the 80s. I thought he was just about the greatest thing going when it came to bullpens. For one thing, he was kind of a Clark Kent, a young-looking guy. I thought he could just about be my classmate. He was a solid pitcher, too. So it's good to see this 83 Donruss Tom Hume in this box. You can see what the back looks like here. Typical Donruss of the day. 5 years of stats plus the career stats. And Hume definitely was the closer for the Reds, if there was such a thing back then, topping out at 25 saves in 1980. And there's some, contract status and career highlights. So, good card to end on, Mr. Tom Hume. So let me know if you like this trip down memory lane, and we'll do more of it. And go ahead and like the video if you like the video, and consider subscribing to this channel. You can find us at waxpackgods.com and on Twitter at waxpackgods. Thanks a lot.